on top.
Welcome back to another episode of Savage Kings. Joey Rosenberg over here acting like a complete idiot.
No different than usual. I get that a lot. So it's like I know what my role here is. You know, like
I mean, you guys can see the antics on our pages, but you can see it on Joey's Instagram page and just the ridiculousness.
are you talking about the Nazi thing?
Wow. No.
Damn.
All right, just to explain.
Off air.
Just to explain, I was cast as a Nazi on a show, and I was Jewish, and I thought that was hilarious. And then when I did it, I felt that was guilt. That was what Jewish guilt was. It wasn't worth the money. Definitely wasn't.
Then I
worth
wonder how what's that dude, the guy that steers motherfuckedly?
Who?
Django, the dude that was in Django.
Oh my God, Christoph Waltz.
No,
No.
the black guy.
Oh,
Jamie Foxx.
No,
Samuel
The-
Jackson.
Samuel
Jackson?
I wonder how he must feel after that role.
Oh my
If
God.
that's how you felt, Joey, I
A
know
little
you
bit.
went back home and
A
went
little bit,
25
man.
mil.
Dude,
20.
It's not the first time I felt
You
that
that nigga
way.
in the big house, nigga?
Bro.
Niggas like, oh.
Dude, there's a KFC right outside my temple. I have
sorry.
felt out of place before.
Can I be real with y'all?
Ah.
Nothing brought me a little bit of weird joy.
Yeah.
And I mean this. The seeing Samuel L. play that shit, because I know he hated that shit, but he played that bitch to a T, which let me know he got depth and strength and
Yeah, he was like Uncle Ruckus. He was like
Yeah, he was real. He was
For
really
real.
good on that shit.
For real.
Like, wow.
I was like, this is bone chilling. Like, this is what
Nah.
it's either really repressed and he was on them plantations,
Yeah.
Or he's
he
a
studied
really
the slave
good
master real good. And let's be real. I mean, he don't look that old, but he
Yeah.
old.
Oh yeah, still tough
Don't-
as a train.
Don't
dude.
skip
Look
over Leonardo DiCaprio. That nigga was saying nigga too well. Them
man.
niggas over there. I'm like,
I want to say it's Leo.
He
He's
said
allowed to
like,
say it.
He was so
Eminem, he
serious.
gets up.
yeah, I was like,
He
shit.
cut his hand and he didn't phase him. He was
No.
gonna keep saying like
Yeah.
even real racists if they cut their hand that bad they'll stop like oh man I
Nah.
like
Leo was like, yo, every role Leo do, he do it a little too well.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like,
Since Titanic, and he had some ones that kind of was like, but you look at his acting, you like, bruh, you need to go get a woman or something, bro, because you got too much time on your hands.
It's true.
And then after you done with a movie, you always catch him with like 8 models somewhere in the middle of an ocean.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Bro,
Absolutely.
you got too much
Yeah.
time on your hands, and if you don't, me and Joey's always up.
I was about to say, throw me in there, man. If as long as he's watching, as long as he's one of our 16,
Just
viewers at
saying,
the moment.
you
I mean,
played
like
a
the ones that are
German.
watching right now, they can build later. I'm not making fun of our
He
audience.
played a
stupid.
slave master. Maybe
like-
he might want a Jewish and a black friend. I'm just saying.
I think he dated Bar Raffaelli. She's Israeli. Israeli
yeah, he did.
Israeli
Yeah,
girls
yeah,
are
yeah.
tough,
Yeah, he did.
dude.
Yeah, at
Israeli-
least fucked her. What
Oh,
was it?
Israeli
Yeah.
women are gorgeous.
and they could kill
Yeah.
you, which is hot. I don't know
Yes.
why.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Don't know why.
It's just like it's simple. They could.
that
They've been
Mediterranean
trained
and that
to. The blonde hair and the olive skin.
like Persian women,
Yeah.
Syrian women, Israeli, Lebanese women. Oh my god! Oh, yo, the Mediterranean, y'all got the lock on some of the. We know Cyprus women,
Yeah.
Greek women. Be damn. Okay,
I love Greek women.
there ain't a black man in the world that gonna pass up an Italian. Some of the brothers won't even pass up Italian men.
Wow. Look at you snitching.
Well, while I'm here,
You Tekashi 6ix9ine. You're snitching on every guy. No, I'm just-
Because I want them to know. Because if I got a boy like that, we got. You know what? Let me not make that joke.
Which brings me to my question. This is what I want to lead off with today.
What's
right?
that?
Because everything's obviously in the air,
Yeah.
with the protests, everything like that. So let me just ask you guys something, and for our viewers.
Shoot.
So would you rather someone who's like they're racist? That's who they are. There's certain hate that can't get unlearned. Would you rather them be honest about it? Not necessarily out there marching and destroying anything or actually harming black people. I don't mean to that level, to allow it to that level. But
Okay.
someone is prejudiced. They're upfront about it.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you have anybody open to talk on that level these days at that opposing of viewpoints. But if you because I've seen some just genuinely racist people. I've actually had at least one person just tell me that he doesn't like Jews, his father doesn't like Jews, and he went to just all the reasons his dad gave him. Some of which he found out that wasn't true. Some of which he still believed.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine. I can't change your opinion about millions of people, but
Right.
like, hey man, I'm gonna go to the gas station. You want me to get you a bottle of water or something? You know what I mean? Like
But
we can
see,
still,
like, not-
I don't need to read into that
Nah.
part. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
can
I know you hate me. Are you
Joey,
thirsty?
can I be real?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where like I'm really conflicted because after a time, I want to have that discussion with you, but after a time, I'm like, you really too fucking old to be this stupid. Like, I'm gonna knock the shit out of you. And here's my thing. Probably racism is the least amount of thing that kind of ticks me off now. All right.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that it's not something that I care about because I was marching. So I'm always out there. I'm always vocal.
Yeah.
But usually those people who are racist are usually sexist as fuck, okay, misogynistic, okay? And that
Sometimes
leads,
go hand in
like,
hand.
it's
Yep.
one thing where you're like, I don't like black people, but fuck them, I'll leave them alone, whatever. I don't like toleration, but I could see that. But then I already know now that you have that, you probably got an animus to women and other kind of racial groups,
Yeah.
okay? And that's my issue with it. That's why I'm like, nah, I can't just like I want to say yeah, I can respect you and just like, I don't know,
Maybe
but
be-
my
yeah.
mouth the way it's set up, I can't do it.
Well, it's like a cancer because it starts with I hate Jews, then it turns in I hate the blacks. And the gook ass
Mexicans.
Asians, right?
And
then
the Asians.
and then women should be in the kitchen only, and
Yo, I
it
heard
slowly
some
grows.
far-fetched
Unfortunately,
shit one time, like,
it grows.
and
That's
it's
true.
not that it's not true, but like you're just looking to hate people.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say he hated Jews, and he's like, I hate Lebanese people and Palestinians because they're all Jews, half-breed Jews, and I'm like, yeah,
Like, really, like,
They're like, okay.
they're all cousins. Yes, they're all interrelated in that region.
I hate Uruguays. Like
Paraguay.
I hate
But then I
Kazakhstanians.
was like-
really scattered.
And then his thing was they all have the same blood. And I'm like, yeah, but you going to hate millions of people? And they literally are separated
Yeah.
by eons of years of not only religion, but just locality. Like, Southern Israelis are very different from Northern Israelis.
Right.
And that's every country.
Mhm.
There's still tribal places within those. So you hate those. Like, a lot of things you can't say. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't sit there for a blanket statement.
So let me ask y'all this: Kurt, you traveled around. Joe, you're a comedian. You've been through the city. You've met all different types of people.
shit, I'm a
and
comedian
come
too,
to this
bitch.
shit. Huh? What'd you say? But you done more extensive travel than I say than most of the people here. Yeah. I don't. Do you think a lot of racists are just they I don't want to say homebodies, but they haven't experienced other people. Period.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. What
Period. In
That's
the
exactly
smallest
what it
degree. Like I
That's
would,
exactly what it is.
I don't want to see where the mosque is. I don't want to go
Why
by
do
the
you
temple.
think their children
I don't
are like
want
that?
you to. I don't want you. Whatever.
Overwhelmingly, their children, especially like not so much in my generation, but the generation I've noticed after me.
Okay.
These young kids,
the kids coming up. Mhm.
right? Even if they're like 6 or whatever, between 6 and 12, they'll challenge their parents on shit like that.
Right.
Because I was reading an article maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Okay?
Yeah.
They still has. I didn't realize they still have segregated schools in the South.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
That never
In
really
Georgia.
went away. Yeah.
Okay, that never really went.
It never went away.
Yo, there was this 2 girls that tried to segregate. They were the best of friends, and they're like, "We're not doing this." And their parents came together. I know their parents didn't really like each other, but I think after a while, they were like, "Yo, our daughters love each other,
Yeah.
and this is just right." And they tried, and these 2 little ass, homely ass motherfucking Georgian girls, okay, were attacked, and they were kids.
That's true.
One black, one white.
But that's the thing is, Kurt. This is a lot of people don't really don't remember this because we, as like our American culture, has decided that we not remember most of what we learned during civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah. You're
Like,
right.
like it happened, but how often did we really learn about Vietnam? What got us there? The consequences? What we were actually there
France.
for? Why we stayed? Like. I don't remember learning that much at all. I really didn't even know what happened until
You know why?
I saw. Well, because there would be no explaining it. Once you actually know all the facts, it's like this was horrible. Like this was just absolutely horrible.
Right.
And there's a benefit that comes with forgetting like that because you forget how cyclical this is. I mean, like the Freedom Riders, dude. what was it, like three? All their buses got like burnt with them
Quite a
inside
few
of
of
it.
them. I don't think it was all that.
But like
Damn
their
near all
first
of them,
three,
yeah.
like even Martin Luther King actually showed up with them one time, and then he was there with them for a couple of days. And then he took off before the next wave
when he came.
of people torched that bus. Like even
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, I gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
So like the fact that this happened and that we're in this place now doesn't surprise me, because if you look at what they were trying to do between like the late 50s and I'd say like the mid to late 70s, you know, like people died. Like a lot of people, like there were things that were pushed, but a lot of things failed because people died. A lot of things got crushed.
I agree.
And
History.
that was it. That was the last
History
time.
will repeat itself, and
When-
that's why this is important.
When you kill the leaders, who else takes
Who
over?
takes over.
You know what I mean? If you
But-
don't have a strong two, go ahead.
but
What's
we've
your
been
And
here
that's
before.
honestly, and that's why we continue to have these issues.
I'm with you.
Okay? Because no matter how you go about and do it, it's the same tactic done over and over. We use the same tactic on our people, kill our own leaders,
Yeah.
that we do on the Taliban and Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
I want us to think about that. Because now that just creates a vacuum. With the vacuum that came out of the 60s and the 70s was now we had, Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Though he was for violence, all of a sudden, when, he was gone, the looting hit the streets. Everybody that followed Dr. King's path, while ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Then they turned to, no, I'm sorry, I'm not with that nonviolent streak. I'm just not.
I would not have been able to at least try.
I couldn't.
Like,
and
would not have been able to.
I'm sorry if it were the other way around.
Okay.
People, I wouldn't tell them to have dogs stuck on you. I'd be marching with, I don't care who it is. I flew to Flint. You knew that,
Right.
right? It's not because they were black. It's because they were kids.
Right.
Well, it's just a reflex to defend yourself if you're getting attacked,
Attack.
especially at most.
So I'm sorry. I can't.
it's
you
so
know, as I get
counterintuitive.
older,
Like I can't
respect
Right,
that.
you're right.
I just can't respect that. And I get where Malcolm X is coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His whole he came two piece. But at the same time, yeah, you're a Christian reverend. Dogs are snipping at your dick. I love my dick.
I know, but
You're not gonna tear off my shit and Tom Wayne Bob at me later. No, it's not gonna work like that.
John Wayne Bobbitt.
John Wayne Bobby, yeah, not
Did
Tom.
I said Tom Wayne?
Yeah, you said.
His brother Tommy got it too. John Wayne Bob.
But Kerr, man, I'm serious. Like, don't forget, like both those men, like nonviolent and by the end
Were both
violent.
killed.
They were both killed. Like,
So
pretty
you might
much
as well go out
exactly
violent.
the same way.
Because when you don't kill the leader, the party still rises. Somehow, some way, if we left Martin alive, we would have had two distinct groups. You
Yes.
would have had your violent group, and then we would have called on them like, "Look, they done beat Martin's ass.
Yep.
We need y'all to drive by." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And you're right.
But you still would have had somebody making the strategic planning.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what we fail. Because I'm with you at some point. I don't think everybody should go out there with guns and shit and
No.
beat everybody.
I think, hold on. I just want to make a point to that because I will defend myself in saying something.
Of course.
I came out and said burn shit to the ground. People are pissed off. Okay?
Really?
All right? People are pissed off.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. Don't do it to your mom and pop shops. I'm not saying don't do that to your mom and pop shops in just black neighborhoods. Don't do it in white neighborhoods either. Don't do it in Spanish neighborhoods. You know who got the money to influence that shit?
Who?
Everything is insured. It's insured at the state level. It's insured at the
Yes.
federal level.
Yes.
Right? So why don't you go after, and I'm not advocating for this.
Yeah.
But
Make it
wouldn't
clear.
be smarter-
Yes. make
Okay,
it
but
clear.
wouldn't it be smarter to go after a Fed building like Sally Mae, right? Where we all can benefit from
I owe
it.
them like
Equal facts,
$10,000.
wherever they are,
You know what I'm saying?
champion.
I owe them $10,000
You know
right
what
now.
I'm
They're
saying?
like,
This is where black and white people need to start looking at it a little differently and saying, when we're pissed off and this is outrage, we all saw everybody come together. Well, then come together and start saying, we're being unfairly
Right.
fucked with in other ways as well.
Of course.
This is about black lives, but who's on them rolls for them student loans?
loans. You right. You
Right?
you hitting them. You right. You hitting
And
them
how
on the
is,
nerve.
and what is that? That is what helps. It's student loans and medical bills that help keep you depressed for the rest of your life. Having a baby alone will
Yeah.
keep your ass in debt for a long
No
long
insurance will stop you from doing a lot of
time.
shit.
Yes.
Here. Go ahead. What you gonna say, Joe?
here's the thing, though. I'm not looking at this movement here and the civil rights movement of like the 60s and in the same way. They're obviously two completely, apples
Right.
and
Right.
oranges.
Yes.
Right.
But I am looking at this and thinking to myself, and I'm no historian. I try to do research on this. I love documentaries.
Right,
and
right.
shit. But like, okay, none of this is anything that I haven't seen. Just it's seen before. So like,
right.
none of this. The riots are nothing new. If you look back,
Yep.
The compliance of law enforcement is nothing
Yep.
new.
Yeah.
So for me to really have faith in any kind of change that these extra these looting methods are driving that point home. For me to have faith in the change that level of response is trying to generate. It's not like I need to see more looting. I just like I'm like, damn, I got to see something that I haven't seen before, because otherwise this could end up the same way.
Exactly. And I'm not with the looting. I think the
me
looting is the
either.
most
You know what I
ridiculous, stupid thing. And you notice, it was never the protesters. It was
No,
people
it was always a
waiting.
separate group.
It was
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
waiting for that shit. And I'm glad that we have that identified, because there were paid actors on both sides.
Of course.
And I don't even think most of them would pay. They just wanted free TVs and shit. Okay, no, let's call it what it is. They didn't care about Black Lives. They didn't care
they
about
didn't care about anything. Yeah.
George Floyd.
police. You know, same brutality. They didn't care about the police. Okay,
Right.
they wanted what they wanted. Had nothing to do with the protest.
36
But with
inches,
that
man.
Said, with that said,
I'm sorry. 36 inches. All right,
yo, there was a 48 back there.
I'm gonna need two people.
Yo.
Go get the other side.
I only got two hands. It's my
Well,
car.
you know what got me though? What really got me? Thank God the media has matured to show all aspects of people and not completely
Yeah, just the black folks going in and out.
and
Yeah.
skew it, because they were like just looting. Okay, because what they saw was black and white people.
Yeah.
Fuck it, they were Native American people with their Cherokee hats on in that bitch too. Okay,
I would not be surprised.
They
No,
were
no, I would not
all random shit coming the fuck out. They're like, you get a TV, you.
Yeah, I saw a Navajo chief walk around with like a Marilyn Monroe painting with one of those tie-dye colors, you know, like
She's a
great
icon in
like a weed T-shirt.
You know what I'm saying? White dude was like, we gonna need that back next week.
Yeah.
But we
saw-
didn't need it because we gonna jack off to it, you know?
I saw a white guy with dreadlocks take a picture of Bob Marley from the stand, like he looted 6 pictures.
In
the
an
same
odd
picture.
way, I know,
Like-
but in an odd way, this brought us together. And I heard
I'm with you.
Edward Snowden, I think. I think
Oh, he
yesterday-
spoke? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, they were talking about like how he feels now and
Yeah.
doing what he did. And I realized we've really kind of come together. And that's my point on, I was so sure coming into November who was going to win this election.
Okay.
Now I'm like, people are really pissed off. I mean, really pissed off. And I know people tend to forget.
Yeah.
I don't see this. Because these young ass kids are really different. They grew up completely on the internet. They ain't gone outside.
I give you that.
Okay?
Right.
They like to troll people in a I'm PC kind of way, kind of like
Yeah.
PC Principal on South Park.
Right.
Right. He wants to be a douche. They want to be a douchebag, but they want to make you look like a bigger douchebag. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? That kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not going to let this sit. These kids, and I'm going to come out again and say, I crack a lot of jokes. Greta Thunberg, bro. People like that. This generation, 2 generations under me, are very, very involved, and they're very awake. They
Yes.
read. They have, I mean,
I think the internet speeded along into a
Yeah.
younger age.
Me too.
But,
Yeah.
But if you look back, again, I don't mean to keep going back, but it's the best comparison I have for this. A lot of the protests, again, the Freedom Riders themselves, they were students. I mean, they were college
Yeah, they were
students,
college
but they
students. They were students.
That was considered very young at that
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? That was considered then what these kids are now, especially since a lot of those protesters back then also got the fuck beaten out of them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
while the cops and state troopers all looked on, you know, gave him like I think Bull Connor gave him like a 15-minute window where he's like, you can do anything you want in those 15 minutes.
yeah.
I
That's
was-
fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. You're
That
right.
was,
did
that
a-
was his policy when they organized these mobs, and then you got 21 people getting off a bus against a mob of 300, and they have a policy of nonviolence. I'm amazed that more of them didn't get killed.
I did a play
Uh-huh.
years ago, maybe 6 years now, called Freedom Summer on the Freedom Riders. And the things that I found out having to do research
Right.
and coming, I was like, wow. I mean, they found bodies at the bottom of this lake, guys. What
Yeah.
kind of heart? And these are the police.
Yeah.
I literally listened to somebody this morning say there is no systematic racism within our police force. And I heard another woman who was a police chief in Florida, no less,
Yeah.
who's now a politician, come out and say that is just erroneously wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going back and forth. When you sit there and you continue to say things like that, kids listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget being with some of my some of my siblings, and they'll call out aunts, uncles, parents
Oh yeah.
at the table.
Yeah.
The one thing about American families, though, we get political Thanksgiving. I love that. It's like no matter, I don't care black, white, we don't give a fuck no more. No, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And we'll shout it, and we still got love at the end of the day. We might be pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
It make for a hard Christmas.
True. I got into it. Dude, I got into it with someone in my
You know what I'm
family
saying?
the other day. Like, pretty much.
But you start to move the goalpost a little bit,
That's true.
and we start to understand each other a little bit more. And I do like that.
Yeah.
In the sense of Americana, where they don't have that in Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that in anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Jamaica.
You can't walk 2 blocks and see somebody else. Or for the middle America, go to the next state over and be like, oh, blackies. And,
Yeah.
Jewish folks and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
You can't do that.
That-
Go ahead. What you going to say, John?
No. It brings me back to what I was thinking in the beginning. Is that like, okay, and I don't want this to become rote or mechanical. And thing is, I really I hate racist, but virtue signaling for the other side is also very annoying. So I never want to come off that way. But when I look at the shit that's gone on, let's just take the God, I told my brother and sister this the same thing, but let's just take the most viral cases of police killing an unarmed black man.
Right.
Like Sean Bell. You know, let's take out cases where there was some like unclear, like like not count Trayvon Martin just for 1 second, but I'm talking about Sean Bell. Obviously, George Floyd.
Okay.
Obviously, Eric Garner. Where it's a little bit more clear because the Trayvon Martin case there was some murky details there.
Right.
And
I wasn't police. That was
That was. But we get
you. We get you. Okay.
If I know this because of the way I grew up. Again, I was told in detail when I was 5 years old exactly what the numbers on my gym teacher's tattoo meant.
Yes.
Because I went to school in
You've told us about
Spanish
that,
Harlem.
Yes.
So if I were to just tally up the cases that really just went viral, not counting the hundreds of thousands or whatever cases were, and if I were to just change that to Jewish people instead of black, there would be widespread panic just because of I mean, Jews have been kicked out of a lot of places, but the most recent one and obvious one was Germany, so that would obviously create panic. So if nothing else, if I didn't just ideologically support this, if it was just switched, and it very well could, because again, Jews were fairly well. I mean, there was always prejudice, just like there's been prejudice with black people here, but peaceful. But like, they were living relatively comfortably up until stuff started turning on them in Germany. So I don't rule out the possibility ever that could happen here.
Yeah.
And if I were to just tally up the cases that just went wide, there's already a lot of them. And if that was just Jewish rabbis or Jewish people, unarmed, I know the kind of widespread panic that would create, because I was taught that. I was raised that from an early age.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, and this is why this is very important, okay? And then history is very important. They made Germany very accountable for what they did to the Jewish people.
Yes.
Okay? It was not a state of Israel yet, a land that they hadn't had, okay, in which they deserve to have had, okay?
Right.
When you do that and massacre a people, okay?
Right.
They made Germany accountable by paying restitution.
Yes.
The United States still has not done it, but yet looked at Germany and said you had to pay restitution to these people.
Yeah.
Now, I have less of an issue with the United States doing that, and I'm going to tell you why. The United Kingdom has always had its foot on everybody else's back. I don't want to use another term, as we're in our mourning right now, right?
Okay.
And has literally paved the way for racism and anti-Semitism.
Yes.
Yet they've paid no restitution to not only blacks, Jews, or Indians, or Literally.
Yeah, anybody.
The greatest offender of it. The reason why racism, anti-Semitism,
Started.
and the reason why people in the lower subcontinent
Yes.
region of the world have is all because of one central nation.
Yeah.
Up until World War II, this was the quote unquote between
The great.
America and the United Kingdom. All of the world's gold damn near was in the United Kingdom. They had to move it out of the United Kingdom because they couldn't sustain bombing anymore. No one's bombing the United States. It's too fucking far.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but the thing
Okay.
is, like, how far? Like, they're the most recent empire if you don't count us or Russia. But then, how far back? Because I agree with you, but how far back do you trace this responsibility? Because, like, the Roman Empire also was really expert at mixing people around and deliberately mixing them into tribes that were next to hostile tribes.
And
So
you're
we-
absolutely right.
like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
But-
you, like,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
go back and,
And we
trace
can
these back,
continue to
but,
go
like,
back.
Yeah.
But what facilitated the Holocaust, okay? What facilitated the slave trade was the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And
True.
I'm just talking about modern day. Why?
Right. What help bring them
When
to
I
modern
look
day?
at the reason it's Black Lives Matter is because there's such a small population of the country,
Right.
okay? And it happens to them way more, okay? Look, I had an interview with Inherent Magazine, okay? And it went out last week.
Okay.
I will absolutely put it up when
Cool.
when it's done. And I said to the interviewer, Faye, I said, it's a leading cause being stopped by a
Mhm.
police officer of death for a black man. No other demographic has that. She didn't believe it at first. She was like, then she went and checked numbers. I sent her the article, and she was like, yeah, I already did my research. She goes, I could not believe that.
What was her race?
She was Asian. She was
Indian,
Chinese.
Asian, or
Chinese,
East Asian? Okay, Chinese.
Asian,
Okay.
I believe. I don't want to.
You don't got to break it down, but
You know
that.
what I'm
But yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
But and she did not. You understand? But here's an ally, and we don't even know our own statistics, which is why I'm saying it's very important that you assume responsibility.
Right.
Because when you go and you start yelling at other nations to pay restitutions, and Black Americans deserve reparations without
Of
a doubt.
course.
The United States of America should pay something towards it.
Of course.
But they should also be looking to the United Kingdom for some of that money and a majority of that money.
and you
And
know
the
why?
Queen got that shit.
You know why it'll be hard for that? Because the Queen has now, in the last 50, 60 years,
Strategically.
removed herself where she gets they still collect income. They get paid to do what they
do
do.
it. And
they
then
don't have no rule. They
Make it
parliament
look
rule.
as if the Commonwealth
Yes.
is benefiting
Fitting.
and it's now giving back something to these places.
You're absolutely right.
And it's a trick and a tactic that I know oh too well.
Right.
But what always gets me is we have a lot of tension in this country, and we don't know our own history. If we knew our own history, the Boston Tea Party would still be justified. And you'd be able to look back and say, the reason that these black guys and women
Yeah.
are upset and rioting, it does date
Right.
back to that Tea Party. And
Right.
oh my God, because the first person who was killed at that Tea Party
And
was
those
Crispus
Jews
Attucks.
over there, that Jew and that sorry, because when you said like those black, like you were like pointing at me, and I'm like, yes,
No, I'm just
yes,
saying.
hell yeah.
But like,
Like, so like,
you know, people forget. Like it was the United
Yeah.
Kingdom saying, you know,
Yeah.
the world, the 1800s, send them to America. They wanted young Jews and young Italians to go because they didn't want them in their country.
Exactly.
Right?
Kick them out over there. They got room.
And then when they realized, oh my God, all the scientists are fucking Jewish Germans. Oh shit, we need them. Oh,
Right.
they're in America. We need to align ourselves with them.
Right.
Let's create the Oppenheimer Fund. You know what I'm saying? Let's.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's all interrelated. And if you don't understand your history, you understand how they pitted us together. When Irish first came here, they were pitted. They were put in the next to the black neighborhoods.
Yes.
When the Jews came in, it was Jews, Irish, and blacks.
Yep.
And then they deliberately dissected it and said, "We can't have this because we need your economic, whatever."
Yeah.
And it was always about economics. If we had, from the very beginning, from in the 1860s to the 1920s, had realized our own stupidity, kind of like Lombardi had said, right? And realized that it was a tactic,
Yes.
especially coming from the Queen throne. Like, we're not so far off this
No.
woman thumb.
No.
Which
Not
We're
at
only
all.
400 years off her family shit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot less than more than other shit
Don't
she
get it
got.
twisted. They still invest money into us and
Thank
certain
you.
corporations
Thank
and stuff.
you.
They chilling with Trump.
Yo,
Hey, how we doing over
They
there?
invested in our White House after they burned the shit down. Like,
That's the truth.
they have our best. This is the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest women in
Yeah.
the world, and we're fighting ourselves for somebody that's not even in our continent. But because we allow us to pass stupid ass laws that still help benefit this old bitch.
He said. So hold on.
It's
So-
always old bitch. Like my grandma was. She seemed like she was awesome. It turns out she wanted me aborted, and she was the sweetest Jewish little grandma. Like
Oh.
Joey, you want any? She always had candy.
That shit hurt. That
She
shit
always,
hurt. You
she always had candy. She always had my
Could you blame
favorite
her,
deli. She tried. Grandma Bessie, I hope you're turning in your grave, bitch. Anyway, I love you. I love you.
Grandma Bessie, I don't blame your ass either.
No,
Grandma
I'm
Bessie, you know what? I'm gonna just come out and say I'd have had my own show.
Whoa. Whoa, who recruited me? I was the free agent.
That's why it's a joke, bitch.
I was the free agent here. This wasn't Joey Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Savage. I'm not a Savage King. Who would call themselves that, Kurt? Only you. No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, stupid.
Yo, are you serious about
No,
this?
no.
Yeah, no, I'm not your grandma like that. Like, cause that's a little drama.
I'm just fucking around.
like nigga, stop recording. Hold on.
Right? Nothing like
that's
that.
a despo moment right there. When he
Exactly.
came, when he was like, Dad, Kurt,
Hey, man,
I
all
know
our
what your dad been doing.
grandparents But this brings, you know what?
That
This
was
will us back to
That was
everything we
funny.
just discussed, right? Like we just span, I don't know how many different countries and how many different conflicts. But this brings
Yes.
this brings us back to the original, like question: Would you rather someone be very honest about how racist they are? Because that's exactly what those people who burnt the fuck out of those Freedom Rider buses were. They were very honest. Or would you rather have people?
They did it behind
Well,
the mask. They weren't.
No. They were. That wasn't just. I don't think there was any Klan when they attacked those buses. That was 1,000 of the
It was-
town.
No, they were part of the Klan.
They
They
were
had
part of the
Klan
Klan.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Klan,
they
but
were there.
weren't
They
hiding.
were organized, but the sheriff
Yeah.
They were not
was-
wearing
They
anything.
had the police backing
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do
to
that.
do that.
With
They
right.
were behind. They were
Right.
definitely behind the
The Klan
veil.
was, yeah, but there was no sheets. They were like the Klan.
Right.
No, they
you,
were-
you had a bunch of
like-
people with no sheets, and you had
Depends
people
on
with yeah.
there were.
Oh
a
no,
couple
you
of
had
sheep
both.
out, yes,
But you had both. The
Yeah.
white folks
Oh,
is
yeah.
coming down here. We here to see a nigga get killed.
Oh, my
Go get
God.
them. They running free.
I saw like
You're
when I
right.
looked
You
at
have
those
both.
pictures, man. It's
Yeah.
retarded. So like, that's what it comes down to. It's like depending on the situation you're in. I want to say, yeah, I'd rather them be honest with me. But then if I'm walking alone, I happen to get jumped. Like my brother got jumped by skinheads like 20 years ago.
Damn.
You know what I mean? In
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Bradley Beach, New
Damn.
Jersey. So like, if I'm gonna get jumped, especially because there's also with all the all lives matter. shit,
course.
there's anti-Semitism going up too.
Dude,
It's like-
everybody
'cause
hating
it's
everything.
always the
You
same
know
shit.
what gets me about that though? Like, how can you not like an entire people? Like, there's something dope in everything.
Because
And
they haven't experienced the people.
But like, dog, this is what the beauty of New York City is. Okay, be a single man and just drop your bias for a day, for a week,
Yeah.
for fuck it, a month. Okay, because you're not gonna have enough game for a week. But drop your shit for a month and try and go after everything. Don't fucking talk because you're gonna fuck yourself in your ass. Okay, but.
Make sure, wait, I gotta get that
But-
part down. Don't do that, or you're gonna fuck.
But just sit there
your-
and listen. And I'm telling you, these women will eat you up. Just sit there, just shut up. Don't talk much. Just listen.
Yeah.
You will be able to see every different cultural whatever. And if there's one you don't like, try somebody else of that culture. And I can guarantee you'll be like, yo, you know what? I don't know if I want to stay Indian or go Japanese. Like, like, as a man, I'm sorry. As a man, I'm a man and I'm talking to fellow men. As long as there's no issues of maybe asexuality or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
natural born woman fucking man, gynophile, okay?
You know what it is, Kurt? You know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what this is.
Go ahead.
right?
What is it? What is it?
The people who don't want to be exposed to this stuff. I guess we're talking about
That's
the
true,
South.
too.
The people that don't want to be exposed to this stuff from the South or from wherever they are, if they have that prejudice,
I know some people in my own town.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot up here. They hide up here.
These are people. I'm talking about the most hateful ones.
Yeah.
These are people that were raised or are just. It's in their lineage to have been masters. The same way a royal family. The same way when a king gets murdered and their family spreads out and then all those people have claims to the throne.
Yeah.
These people feel like in their own American way they were royalty
true.
with subjects and business and all their own little fiefdoms.
Oh no, hands down. You're right.
And they, it's that. It's like that. I don't know. Napoleon complex isn't the word. It's like a delusion of grandeur almost in the worst kind of way.
Yes.
But they feel like they were like a king, a royal family that was ousted. All of them that feel
the
this
heritage. My heritage is higher than yours.
Exactly.
Your heritage is to be beneath me or serve.
You came here on a boat.
Yes.
So did y'all. They didn't have airplanes back then, and the African that came here on the plane, I don't want to say that he's doing better than you, but
Exactly. but how are you going to tell these motherfuckers?
You're paying him
humble
rent,
themselves,
just so you
what
know.
I mean?
just saying. I mean, you might look like he bags, but
Yo.
he's got a house in Canarsie.
So hold up. So do you think? Let's bring it back to today. Do you think that? All right. So I had. Let me break that scenario down. I had an argument with a friend of mine talking about Joe Biden. And I was like,
oh God,
I really don't want to give him my vote, but I ain't
Nah.
got no option. I said,
No,
I
you
don't
do.
know. I said,
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you
want to
don't,
throw
you
it
won't be
away.
black.
I don't want to throw it away. You know what I mean? And be like, whoever the fuck.
Dude, you know.
And
what
I'm
he
just
said,
like,
right?
do I want the fucker in here now? And that's
don't
what
want him.
scares
can I
me.
be real?
Go ahead.
Because you brought that up,
Yeah.
and I know that's what you alluding to about the whole. He was talking to Charlamagne. If you don't vote for me, you're not black type.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no, that at that point, I was just, and this was before Trump did all that shit
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking like,
Wow.
he might take it. I said just because people gonna be a little depressed when they vote for him because the whole campaign is just get Trump out. There ain't nothing else. There's no other agenda that I saw that made any other
And
sense.
I'm gonna be real. I think it's
Like,
wrong
come on.
to say shit like that.
Oh, hands
But,
down.
but when the conservative media jumped on it, I was like, y'all know. Yes, black people were irate for a day. They had to be.
Yeah.
They wasn't mad. That's like Eminem saying nigga. Okay? Okay? You go hear him say, you just go about your fucking business, okay? All right? It's Eminem, all right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it 100. Eminem might not boast. Joe Biden might not boast. But let's just be very, very, very clear.
okay.
They're always where they're supposed to be. Their houses ain't but so far from the fucking hood. Okay?
Yeah.
And when you live in a nice grandeur neighborhood.
Yeah.
You don't even drive by that way. You'll drive 25 miles outside
the
your
way
area.
to go around.
And I'm not giving him the A-OK to say whatever ignorant shit he wants.
Right.
But what I am saying is, see, when you hang around black people, that kind of lingo happens. And Joe Biden is known for that shit.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's how I took it. Personally, that's exactly how I took it. I was like, oh, you got caught up. But they set him up. Because they put Charlamagne in that position to do it.
And I was
Yeah.
about to say, I think
You know,
Charlamagne knew he was going to say that.
It's true, but
I think so.
But
At some point.
Yeah.
This is the problem with the
Let's not forget
Democrats. with the
Hillary
left.
4 years ago.
No,
said
no,
the
it-
same
I got
thing.
hot sauce in my purse.
Right?
Right?
Like, no, but
You don't even carry your purse. What the fuck are you talking about?
no,
You
man, like,
keeping it between your balls too, Hillary?
you're throwing some heat at Hillary. No, I don't like Hillary. It's all good. But like, God
Hey,
damn.
go ahead, Joe. Go
Hold
ahead.
on, I gotta catch my breath. for a
I
second.
don't believe that. I don't believe that rumor.
Oh, shit.
Like I had
What
a
about her
friend the
having
other day
balls?
tell me that was true. That she had, she was really a man, and I'm like, yo, don't be offensive. That Barack Obama was gay. I'm like, and if he was,
Bro.
he was elected. So what?
Yeah.
What like?
I knew
like,
it.
just stop with this shit. Where,
Got him.
yo, here's the
I
thing.
had a shirt that said that.
She gave birth to a child that looked just like her. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yo,
You're
if
right.
I tried, I couldn't pop out something that. Let me
Don't stop. Go on. Give me some synonyms.
Fugly. No, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm not. See, no, and you know, Hillary looked like a studious, cute girl back in the day, and that's what her daughter looks like.
Yes.
I joke and I say, "Fugly." That's not what she looks like. She looks like a studious. She looks like Donald Trump's daughter when she was younger.
Yeah.
Very studious.
Studious, yeah.
You knew she was smart. What's his daughter's name? Is it Ivanka?
Yeah.
I have all the respect in the world for that woman. She's smart. Okay, I think she had her education bought for her. Doesn't mean you're not smart.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is nothing in the world. I look at Hillary's daughter, Chelsea, in the same respect,
Yeah.
same light. So I'm not gonna sit here. I'll joke. I'll make the joke. We can get it. But there's no way in hell you're gonna sit there and tell me Michelle Obama is a man, Hillary Clinton is a man,
Right.
Barack Obama is gay. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there are many closeted politicians.
So
of
many
course.
juicy headlines there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But every single one of them,
Sorry.
George Bush performed secret abortions. Like, come on, bro. Y'all, come
Yeah,
on.
it was in broad daylight, man. He was right on. No, it's
Hillary Clinton was having kids, molesting kids in the basement. Remember? And the guy ran up into a place and shot the place. Like, are you guys...
I feel like someone's gonna
For
break
real.
in here. Like,
Yeah,
I saw
no.
the whole thing. Like.
I got the proof. They got a video.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get
It's
you.
true, man.
come on, like we gotta stop being so and people need to stop publishing this dumbass shit.
That's
when
what I was
this shit
gonna
is
say.
published,
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
what
say.
needs to be done is you automatically, when it's something far out there,
Yeah.
automatically rescind, and those people should be put up and it should be exposed at how wrong they write articles.
I get you.
Agreed.
I get you.
But one thing, man.
What's
this is
that?
what I was gonna say. The one thing that gave Trump more power in this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
was that the Democrats wanted so bad, the whole left wanted him out so bad that they were gonna cry wolf on everything.
Yeah.
Whether it was a half truth.
That's why I can't rock with him.
And then when obvious things like the shit that we've been seeing lately come up, because it's the class, you cry wolf too many times. I got shit to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So because you kept pressing the panic button, it desensitized everybody to this shit when they shouldn't have
agree
been,
with you.
because this is the first time that we've seen that our generation has seen something that's we shouldn't have been jaded at it. It should have
I
been.
But
agree
it's not
with you.
just that. We
I
had
agree
been
with you.
desensitized for a while with all that reality shit.
And they knew
Right?
they were
True.
desensitizing
Okay.
us. They
True.
knew what they were doing.
He had gotten that television show because he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He knew where he wanted to go, and reality TV has desensitized us. It's cheaply made.
That video games,
video
all that
games,
stuff,
all that shit. So it was
desensitizes.
not just that.
Yeah.
Okay. However, yes, the Democratic Party. First off, they didn't even have a fair contest, right?
Yeah.
It was not fair with Hillary Clinton. This time around, it wasn't fair.
Nah.
Okay? They tanked Bernie. I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
because I wanted Bernie.
Joe
I'm
Biden's
saying
fucking
that-
senile. So
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they wanted a
he off
woman.
the
They didn't
rails.
expect a black man the first time around. They knew they were going to win, but they thought Hillary was going to win in 08.
Yeah.
Then when a black guy got it, they said, oh, shit, we're definitely going to win. So let's make sure a woman in 8 years gets it so
Yeah.
that we can definitely have a woman. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. We're gonna follow up on
so
this.
we look like the party that's so progressive, and we have a woman, and we had a black man,
Yeah.
instead of saying, no, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
If Hillary had said, I'm going to be more progressive, she would have gotten it. But what did she do? She got a white guy that spoke a little bit of Spanish. All right? Get the fuck out of here. And I love, let me tell you something. I love Tim Kaine.
he spoke a little bit of Spanish.
I love Tim Kaine. He speaks fluent Spanish, bitch. So do I. So what the fuck what? Like,
shit.
like, I love Tim Kaine. Yo, his son is an awesome human being.
that was awesome.
Okay?
That was a cough laugh I did. Like I was laughing and I'm
But
like, I'm
like,
gonna
come
cough.
on,
and it's gonna-
yo. You're not tricking me. You're not tricking nobody.
Right.
Get somebody who would have complimented you, who would have challenged you.
That's how I feel when they're trying to get Biden a black lady vice VP.
No.
I said no.
No.
I said it can't just pick.
I'm gonna
it
be
just
honest
because
with
of that.
you.
I was like,
There's only
no.
one woman I could absolutely see Joe Biden having:
Who?
Elizabeth Warren. Because you can't have Bernie.
I said the same shit, and people looked at me like I have four heads.
No,
I said the same
because
shit. I was like, he
she's
needs to get
a loud-ass
Warren, and that's
woman.
it. Yep.
She's not going to allow for shit. And if she wants to push something left,
Yep.
it'll push. That'll appease that far left. It'll appease the far right of the left.
Yep.
Okay, with Joe Biden, where they'll be like, well, he's the head of the party. Okay.
Yep.
Barack Obama's in his ear.
Yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth Warren is now the presumptive lead of the Progressive Party because let's face it, Bernie's going to be there, but Bernie's just a little too old now. All right.
True.
Okay.
True.
He can suck his own balls. That's a little too old.
Wait, so you're saying Warren is going to be to Biden what like Cheney was to Bush in the way that like she'll actually be
running this shit.
No.
You know what I mean?
I don't think. I don't think so. Joe Biden, I think, has lost a lot of his faculties, but he's smart enough to put people around him.
I believe that. Yes, I believe you.
Where Trump couldn't, and that's where we're seeing the fall apart now.
Yeah.
Because what people kept saying was he'll put people around him that knows what he's doing.
He fired his fucking cabinet in 6 fucking
That's
months.
what I'm saying.
All
So
of them. I
now-
was sitting there like, yo, they dropping like
So
flies.
now you can't keep that argument. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And on the other hand of it, it's, well, he'll have, Joe Biden will have all these other people around him,
Yeah.
but they can't go anywhere.
True.
So
True.
it works to his benefit in a lot of places. If you look at these battleground states, I think he's winning all but one.
Yeah.
And it like Texas is a toss-up, bro. And
Yeah.
Texas has been trending weird for quite a long time. But something that's scary for me, if in 3 elections or even 2 election cycles, Texas goes Democratic, that's a ball game. Don't need to win nothing else. You got New York, California, and Texas, and some place
What, they
that's
have
really
like 11
trending.
electoral votes or some
Huh?
shit? Well, how many electoral votes they have? They like 11 or some shit?
I
I know they got a big amount.
Texas has 30-something maybe. or
Is it?
60-something.
Oh,
I just wish we
Jesus.
weren't stuck with the two.
New York, I think, is 38.
They need to get rid of that.
California is
Shit.
55.
I hate
and-
that. I hate that stuff.
Ain't no
in
point
the
even
be
two.
going
honest
to other
with you,
places.
Because they know they need each other. They do this on purpose.
Why the
It
fuck are you
should-
going to Ohio? Ain't shit in Ohio
Yeah.
but potatoes and cows, motherfucker.
But to be fair, most of the states that have
electoral votes.
the most electoral votes
Mhm.
are Democratic.
Yeah.
Okay? So call it what you want. I think if we were going to do it from the beginning, we should have done one vote leads all. But now you have the electoral system in, and I get it. It's restrictive, and it is racist, and it's based in racism.
Of course.
But it is a double check system.
Yeah.
Now, what I do think needs to change is if you win the popular vote and then you win the electoral vote, there needs to be a runoff.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh, if 2 opposing forces, one wins
Yes.
each other. Okay,
if
okay,
you
okay.
win both clear out, you've won.
You got it. Yeah, hands down. I get you.
But if you win 1 and 1, the country is at a place where they need to sit there and say, what are we going to do? That's why I've always advocated for the 2 vice presidential, as George Washington wanted it. A president, 2 vice presidents,
2 vice presidents.
and
Yeah.
then the Congress, so that this way you can have a balance of powers. I think doing it the way we do it,
Yeah.
people who do have the majority vote, which can have, at some point you can have over 6 million people vote
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
and still lose. That's crazy.
I like that idea. I have an idea too.
What's that?
3 debates and a coin flip. You make your point and then you leave it up to whatever.
Can I say one other
That
thing?
just might take it. Okay, wait, that's what-
I would like a constitutional amendment, and I don't give a fuck how gay y'all say this shit is.
4.
You got to show your dick to be president.
Gay.
And if you're a woman running, you got to show your titties. I'm going to be very
What
honest.
the
why.
fuck you gonna look? What you sitting there looking at? Oh,
We're gonna have a
12
bar
inches. That's a
at
good
the
one.
bottom of the screen
Right.
as this airs. Like the
Do you know
views
how
expressed
much
in
we
this
could have
program are not the
avoided
views of this-
if we would have did a dick look before we elected this motherfucker?
Oh,
I do
shut
not
the
want
fuck
to see
up.
the president's dick.
He would have been out there shining, even with his little itty bitty fucking.
And everybody, okay, and then most women would have been,
fuck out of
I need I need big dick energy. Let me tell you something. Big dick energy goes a long way. Because I would have looked at him and been like Napoleon complex.
Yeah, it's
By
Okay?
that-
No, I'm serious. It is for men, I don't know what it is for men. You are too intuned and tied into your dick. Your dick is a man's entire identity. And if that shit too small, you'll see it on the man. If it's too big, you know he brag. And you got that ass. You know he do. And if he too big and got money, God bless you, honey.
hey, that's what I'm saying. He got the cash, but I don't know, man. This shit scares me with this. I think. Here's the question I really wanted to ask you guys. Do you think we would have had protests now if we weren't in this pandemic, meaning people were, if the status quo, everybody still had their jobs, nobody went months without this, they weren't giving out any stimulus checks, but they were still killing
No.
niggas.
No, it would not have been. It was a
No.
powder keg. It was it was a perfect storm of a couple of different.
I was just about to say that. When
Yeah.
you watch images
Yeah.
of men with rifles and weapons on a state capitol, white men,
Oh my God, please. Yes,
okay,
yes,
and
yeah.
nothing is done about it,
Yeah.
and they can be out and they say, we'll take care of ourselves if we're sick,
Yep.
that's going to piss people off. Those optics. When you tear gas people and pepper spray people to take a photo op,
Yep.
yes, this was exacerbated because of quarantine. Okay?
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's undeniable.
But it also is easily prevented. Would have easily been prevented if you just had one, take heed. The rest of the world was burning, and you said, we have this under control.
True.
And
Always
two,
say that.
if you had said what you actually meant, right? This guy, I heard something the other day about the administration is trying to take away rights from gays to adopt or something like that.
Are they? Wow.
Yeah. And I sat there and I said, this is really fucked up. I'm a single man doing IVF.
Yeah.
I could have a kid.
Yeah.
But two dudes or two women that want to give somebody a stable who's adopting, just straight, they're not even doing IVF.
Right.
Dog. They're really taking a kid that needs a home.
Right.
But you swore after a shooting that you would protect these gay people. You swore up and down Donald Trump will do whatever for the black community.
Right.
This is not like when them queasy ass piece of shit Democrats promise something, right, and don't deliver.
Right.
Because at least they're there. And as much as I can't stand the DNC and the Democratic Party, at least they're there.
Yeah. I get you.
So now what this man has done is done something so outrageous where you're just looking to piss people off to suit your small base. You will not win. I'm telling you, you're not going to win.
I get you.
People have opened up their eyes to this shit.
I hope you're right.
And
I
I
hope
think
you-
what's
I-
going to
I-
happen is a
I
lot
hope
of
you're
people
right.
just not going to vote. The kids are going to get up and vote. The older people are going to be like, you know what?
We'll see.
I'm not going to get a tongue lashing for my kids, and I hate. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how many old, because you know a lot of older folks who always get up and vote, how many of them did the coronavirus take out? Enough to make a difference?
But that's
And
why
all
I
the new
thought-
voters, you get what I'm saying?
That's why I
it's
thought
like,
It was a nursing home. It was a nursing home sickness, dude. What was it, like 44% of the people that died? Were
dude, this
all
shit's
people
still
from
going
the
on,
nursing-
bro.
I know.
Nursing
it-
homes are like damn near ground zero,
And
bro.
I had a thought that, maybe this virus was made outside the country coming for the old people. Then they curved it so it could come for the minority community so they could.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just knocking people out. And you notice it's all them countries. It's every country.
It's everywhere. It's
It's
every
everywhere.
fucking way. Dude, ain't nowhere they don't got
It's
it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Animals is getting it now. So that probably means it's mutating. It's something probably
Definitely mutating.
different.
And that's what scares me with the second wave, because I think it's going to be
Be
hard
mutating.
like a motherfucker.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to be a 2-week banger. It's going to be like, yo, that motherfucker had walking pneumonia, and he out for a month. You know what I mean?
Yo, the Corona just going to come back like it's in for.
We'll
Yo, they
see,
tried
man.
to take us out, homie.
We'll see.
Remember our cousins.
I don't-
Remember what we stood for.
We'll see,
Hold
man.
the line.
Like,
I-
what the fuck is that, Mark?
Take these motherfuckers. You can take us with a cold, but you'll never.
I would love to be in his unit. I would just be like, yeah, I'm going to go die on this hill, sir.
We gonna fuck up the right lung.
I don't-
We gonna fuck up the left lung.
I don't think it's going to
Then
be
we
like
gonna
that,
fuck up the
man.
libido.
I think it's just going to be... I think it's going to be a lot of people not giving a fuck. I think
so.
I think by that time, enough things will have opened back up, and we're not going to tolerate another full-time shutdown. So even if the wave is 3 times as bad, 4 times as bad as it just was, we're not shutting down like this again.
Yeah.
because the consequences haven't even started to be felt yet.
You're reading my mind, dude, because that's exactly what's happening. We haven't gone through the economic part. We're just entering that motherfucking tunnel.
I love how everyone's like, "Oh,
It's over and done, right?" Yeah, like
I was like,
No.
"No, right back down."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens. You get a
Yeah.
little comfortable. Everybody has a little more money to play with. Let's throw it in.
Yeah.
I ain't catching me doing that shit.
They worry about all those people going on a new clean subway and shit. I'm like, where they going, bro? Because a lot of those financial offices and all them shits, they ain't open back up, or they did the work from home, or yo, bro,
A
we're
lot of
not
people are
opening
gonna
the
continue
shit.
to work from home.
Yeah.
What I think they should do, okay, is they've done a great job with the subway system.
Yeah, it's sparkly.
And it smells really.
I was about to say that should smell new.
Smells.
But what they
smells
should
awesome.
do is every year we should do that. We should all take the entire world needs to take a 2-week respite
I'm clean,
and just
fucking
clean.
clean.
Yeah.
Clean your asses,
clean.
clean your house,
Yeah,
clean your animals.
Yeah.
Damn it! If your ass can't clean, call somebody to clean your ass for you.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna add to that. You guys have been ordering out
Yeah.
since this stuff, or getting food to go, however many times.
Uh-huh.
I'm so happy to see the wait, not the waiters, but the people making the food wearing the mask.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all guys should have did that fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Somebody talking could have, how many
Yeah.
spit bubbles could have went in your fucking,
Yeah.
whatever the hell it was.
Silver lining.
When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit should have been implemented years ago. Just that thing,
Silver
like
lining.
things like that. But yeah, I think we definitely need a cleaning moment.
Yeah, we do. And I think the entire world, this has gotten us together. But what the world needs to do is consort and say, all right, 1 week out of the entire year,
Industry shuts
in the
down.
in the spring, everything shuts down. We don't even want to really do travel. We know it's going to affect business, but we need to clean.
What do you
so
call it?
that-
Like a siesta?
so,
Or whatever,
you know
a
what I'm
fiesta?
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that-
Like Shabbos.
yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Good. Yeah.
What the whole world needs is a
you go.
little bit of Shabbos.
Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my God. That is a perfect way to cap. That's
Yeah.
the cure of the world. A little
That's
bit
what-
of Shabbos.
You should definitely do that. Or it's be like the whole world needs.
Oh, that's
this thing now.
that's a T-shirt right there. That's
Before we go
fucking
out, you want to say your say?
Yeah. Guys, we haven't been here for the last few weeks, and it's because we had a death in my community and in personally, like somebody who was a really close friend of mine. He was always the first person on my comedy pages to like, and quite a number of us were affected with his death, especially here, and it was a blow. It was a blow, and
Thanks for coming in, man.
yeah. As you see, Ress is not here. She was also a dear friend of this person, and guys, I just want to say, please take care of yourselves. Check, monitor your heart, look after yourselves.
Wash your ass.
Wash your hands. Stay away from drugs. Make sure if you are taking medications that you have to take your medications, people. Please. Pretty please. But with that, we're gonna just wish ourselves a Savage Kings out, and we will see you guys next week.